Close your eyes for a moment and look at the life you are currently living. Look at the walls that surround you, the thoughts that occupy your silence, and the bank balance that dictates your freedom. Now ask yourself a question that most are too terrified to whisper. Is this life truly yours, or is it a composite sketch of the 5 people you spend the most time with? Napoleon Hill once spoke of a psychic law so potent, so absolute, that it could turn a common laborer into a titan of industry and a dreamer into a master of reality. He called it the master mind. But in the modern world, we have forgotten that your environment is not just where you live. It is who you are becoming. Every person you allow into your inner sanctum is either a gardener tending to your potential or a weed choking out your greatness. You are a biological and spiritual sponge, soaking up the fears, the limitations, and the mediocre expectations of those around you. If you sit at a table with 4 cowards, you will eventually become the 5th. If you walk with 4 complainers, you will be the one who finds the problem in every solution. But if you dare to enter the orbit of the giants, if you surround yourself with those who speak in terms of vision, legacy, and relentless discipline, you cannot help but be pulled upward by the sheer gravity of their ambition. This is not about being social. This is about the cold, hard alchemy of the human soul. You are currently being sculpted by the whispers of your circle. The question is, are they carving a masterpiece, or are they eroding your spirit? Nature abhors a vacuum, but it loves harmony. When 2 minds come together in a spirit of perfect harmony for the attainment of a definite purpose, a 3rd mind is born, an invisible, intangible force that Hill described as the master mind. It is as if a celestial spark is struck between 2 flints. Think of Andrew Carnegie, the man who took a penniless immigrant's dream and forged an empire of steel that redefined the skyline of the world. He was not a master of the furnace, he was a master of the mind. He surrounded himself with men who knew more about steel, finance, and logistics than he ever would. But he provided the magnetic center, the unified purpose. He understood that a single mind is a flickering candle in a storm, but a master mind is a furnace that can melt the world. You see, your individual brain is limited by your biology and your history. But when you align yourself with the right circle, you gain access to a library of experience you didn't have to live and a reservoir of courage you didn't have to build. You begin to see through their eyes. You begin to vibrate at their frequency. We live in an era of connectedness. Yet we have never been more isolated from true power. We trade likes and comments with the masses while our inner circle remains stagnant. You cannot build a multi-million-dollar vision on a minimum wage conversation. You cannot find the North Star by looking at the gutter. To change your life, you must first change the frequency of the voices that reach your ears. Consider the great Edison, a man whose formal education lasted months, not years. A man the world labeled as addled. How did he light the world? He didn't do it in a vacuum. He created a laboratory of minds, the muckers of Menlo Park. He gathered mathematicians, glassblowers, and chemists, and he fused their collective intellect into a singular, burning desire. He knew that the light bulb wasn't just an invention of filaments and vacuum pumps. It was the result of a mastermind that refused to accept the darkness. This is the truth the world hides from you. Greatness is contagious, but so is failure. We are told to be ourselves, but the self is a fluid thing. Henry Ford, Harvey Firestone, and Thomas Edison used to retreat into the woods together, a circle of titans. They didn't go to gossip or complain about the economy. They went to sharpen the blades of their intent. They knew that even the sharpest mind becomes dull if it only ever strikes against soft wood. You need the friction of excellence. You need people who will look at your big idea and tell you it's too small. You need a circle that makes your current best look like a warm-up. If you are the smartest, most ambitious person in your room, you are not in a circle. You are in a cage. And the door is locked from the inside. The tragedy of the average person is that they protect their physical house with locks and alarms. Yet they leave the doors to their subconscious wide open for any passer-by to dump their mental trash. You allow the cynical friend, the defeated relative, and the pessimistic colleague to sit in the front row of your mind. They pour their realistic expectations into your ears like poison. Be careful, they say. Don't aim too high, they warn. Remember where you came from. But they aren't trying to protect you. They are trying to protect themselves from the discomfort of your growth. Your success is a mirror that reflects their cowardice, and they will do anything to crack that mirror. You must be ruthless. You must become the guardian of your own atmosphere. To enter the realm of the mastermind, you must undergo a period of radical subtraction. You cannot fly with those who are committed to staying on the ground. This isn't about being cold-hearted, it is about being purpose-driven. Every minute you spend justifying your dreams to a small-minded person is a minute you've stolen from the execution of that dream. You owe it to the world to reach your highest potential, and you cannot do that while carrying the weight of 5 people who refuse to walk.